Well, I guess I should make my bed if I'm going to make a video and post it publicly. That looks better. This looks mean. Something, don't they? What will I make a video about today? It's interesting that in any given moment there's so many possibilities within the realm of speech. Free will and your decision space, the space that gives you the options before you actually press enter, before you actually say it, choose to say it. I'm beginning to see, and I'm telling you, that speech itself is one way to gain empowerment. In any given moment, if you tune in to speech, there's specific expressions that you can pass to someone that require power, and therefore if you're willing to say it, then you gain power in that moment. One way to change your life is to be open to saying exactly what power is moving through you. It takes a deep connection with the source. It takes a deep connection with the mystery. Along this path, embarrassment is part of the game. Something that must be faced, for you're not speaking according to please people anymore. You're not speaking in order to keep contracts together that no longer are empowering you. You're speaking spontaneously in the moment, being directed by Krishna. So if you gave up your life totally to God, assuming that God knew exactly what the best choice was for you to make to empower you, then God will show you what to say, show you what you can choose. So, along these lines, you want to make sure that it's coming from truth. It's not necessarily the words that are spoken. In fact, to record the words that were spoken during an empowerment session is not what the person being empowered is up to. That's what someone else is up to. I am up to gaining the connection, the clarity and the sobriety to understand the hierarchy of the different possibilities in each given moment, so that I can see. And it's obvious that the most empowering choices in each moment are often the personally hardest ones to choose, for the embarrassment factor, for the fear factor, for the necessary change into who you thought you were, transformation. So this is knowledge, it really is, and it can come in all forms. This is the path I'm on. It's amazing. It's amazing. And no matter how far you've gone or how low you've steeped, it doesn't matter, because you still have it in you to make this choice. So it matters who you speak it to. It really does. It matters who you speak it to. It matters who you speak truth to. It matters who you're positionally facing. As you're operating in the world, it matters. That's part of the if-then conditional, the possibility, choice. So in other words, if the most empowering thing for you to say is "fuck you" to the fat guy sitting on the bench, for some reason, you don't know the reason, but in the big picture perspective, from God looking down at the entire cosmos, or looking at the entire cosmos simultaneously, and seeing our planet as a mere speck of sand, and seeing you in this man next to each other, seeing the electric force and the interconnectedness of all beings, and for some reason those words are going to strike into the heart of that man better than any kind word ever spoken to him in that moment, then that's what it is in reality, and that's what you'd be called to say. You can see that empowerment can be easily judged by another person witnessing it or recording it, or not understanding the context from which a man who is choosing to become empowered himself is speaking. From that platform he is speaking. So it's all fresh. It's all fresh. It's all fresh. It's really about gaining that confidence in understanding the most empowering plays and moves. You know, it really is. And it goes beyond speaking. It goes beyond communication. That's one facet. I mean, there's other things like meditation, silence, physical exercise, letting go, giving away products or services that you have now. It's infinite possibility now, and it's not so much what you gain materially, it's the empowerment that flows through you due to that choice. You open up whatever it is that can be opened up as you, and a little bit more spiritualized energy can flow through you, and that's what brings the bliss. That's what is bliss. That is, it is. So our choices are, in many ways, our ability to choose is the key, and the choices is the lock. And we have this key at all times of intention, and we can use this key to unlock the part of ourselves that can be unlocked and allow this spiritualized energy to flow through us at a greater volume, at a greater weight, at a greater measurement. So if I was to kind of contextualize what I'm saying now, I'm getting closer to being able to fully comprehend this. This is a path that I stumbled upon, and that I now see that I've been on all my life. It's just that I never consciously knew exactly what was going on, even though I intuitively did. And when I say consciously, I mean like understanding it, the science of it, understanding it from a scientific perspective. And in order to understand it scientifically, you have to learn some scientific concepts. You know, a lot of times I equate this to electricity, because that seems to be a nice metaphor for empowerment, power, electricity. Yet I had to go through some training into what electricity was to even be able to understand or speak this word in context. So empowerment, choices, lock and key, intention is the key. The possible choices are what are locked up, and you got to drive that intention in and turn it. You know, there's a certain moment before I speak that offers me the opportunity to say certain words. And I'll tell you that doing that action there, it was a little bit of an empowerment for me, and I'll tell you why. Sitting in a room and someone could hear me, and there's a bit of trepidation before I chose to do that, because it was out of context. And when you live authentically, when you live in order to empower yourself and empower the world, you know, it wakes people up. They feel the power. That's why we're doing it. And there's some people in the world that think that feeling that they get from empowerment is evil. So in that moment that they feel the power or sense it, they have an inner choice to make too, whether it's intuitively or consciously. So everything that I said up to this point, now also I realize that every other being is going through the same process in their life. Every other entity and individual that I'm in contact with in their field is it's the same thing. Everyone has choices that they're making, and my goal is to allow the power to flow. It's all about empowerment. So in getting out of the way as much as I can, not disempowering, not being a resistor. Allowing that power to up, and you'll see that as more power comes in, more things surface, more happenings, synchronicities occur. You gotta show up. You got to. It's the last thing I'll say.